Have you ever considered what happens when you step back from someone who has become a constant part of your life? Imagine a world where your every effort, your presence, your care is taken for granted. So what if one day you simply stopped? What if you withdrew your attention, leaving behind only silence? How would they react? Would they notice? Would they miss you? This isn't about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about embracing your own worth and rediscovering your power. In the realm of Stoicism, we are reminded to focus on what we can control, our own actions, our own growth. When we shift our focus inward, the world begins to notice. In stepping back, you not only regain your balance, but you also create a powerful void, one that others cannot ignore. This video will take you on a journey through 10 profound experiences they might go through when you stop looking for them. Each point unveils a different layer of human emotion and thought as they grapple with your absence and come to realize your true value. Stick around, because the most transformative realization comes at the very end. It's the one that could change not only their perspective, but also yours. Let's begin this journey with the first and perhaps most jarring experience, the shock of silence. 1. The shock of silence. Imagine this. You've always been the one to initiate, the first to send a morning text, the one who checks in during their day, the person who keeps the connection alive. Then one day you stop. There's no message, no call, no plans made. Instead, there's silence. What happens when silence replaces your presence? At first, it's subtle. They might think you're busy or preoccupied. But as the hours turn into days, the silence grows louder. It's a strange and unfamiliar void. They start to wonder, why haven't you reached out? Did I do something wrong? Have they moved on? Silence is more than the absence of sound. It's a disruption of the familiar. Like the sudden end of background music in a crowded room, your silence leaves a gap that's impossible to ignore. It forces them to confront something they may have never considered. The rhythm of their life was in part orchestrated by you. This shock is a wake-up call. They begin to realize how much they relied on your presence, not just for companionship, but as a source of stability and comfort. You were the constant, the one they could count on to be there. And now that you're not, they feel it deeply. But here's the twist. This silence isn't just about them missing your messages or your company. It's about the unsettling realization that they've lost something they didn't even know they valued. In the quiet, they begin to hear the echoes of what you brought into their life. As the ancient Stoics taught, the space between words and actions holds profound meaning. In your silence, they find the weight of your absence. So I ask you, have you ever felt the shock of someone's silence in your own life? How did it make you feel? Did it lead to deeper reflection, or did it simply pass by unnoticed? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's explore this together. As they navigate the disquieting silence, they're forced to confront the void left in your wake. But this is only the beginning. Silence shocks, but absence creates something even more profound, a void that cannot be ignored. Let's move on to the next stage in their journey. 2. The void of your presence. As the shock of silence settles in, something deeper begins to unfold. The realization of the void your absence has created. This isn't just about missing your text or the sound of your voice. It's about the emptiness that your presence once filled. When you were there, your energy, support, and care were like an unseen force quietly enriching their life. Now that force is gone and the void is unmistakable. Picture this. They go about their usual routine, but everything feels off. The morning feels colder without your good morning message. The day seems longer without the moments you used to share. Even the simplest activities feel incomplete, as if something essential is missing. They might try to fill the gap by focusing on other things, work, hobbies, or even new connections, but deep down, they know that nothing quite compares to the unique presence you brought into their life. What makes this void so powerful is that it's not just about what you did for them, it's about who you are. Your kindness, your understanding, your way of making them feel seen and heard. These are things that cannot be easily replaced. In fact, the more they try to distract themselves, the more glaring this void becomes. They might even find themselves revisiting memories of the moments you shared, realizing how much those moments meant to them. Now, why is it that we often fail to appreciate what we have until it's gone? As Stoicism teaches, we should value what we have in the present, recognizing its impermanence. Yet human nature often blinds us to the value of something until its absence forces us to confront it. They may have taken your presence for granted, assuming you'd always be there, like a familiar landscape that never changes. But now, without you, they see just how much you shaped their world. Every smile you brought, every piece of advice you gave, and every moment you lightened their burden. All these things now stand out in stark relief against the backdrop of your absence. Have you ever felt this kind of void in your own life? Perhaps when a close friend, a partner, or even a family member suddenly became less present? How did it change your perspective on the relationship? Let me know in the comments. Your experiences might resonate with someone else who's feeling the same way. This void is a powerful teacher. It shows them the depth of what they've lost. But as they sit with this emptiness, another realization begins to dawn, the realization of your true value. Stay with me as we explore this transformative next step. And if you're finding value in these insights, consider giving this video a like and sharing your thoughts below. Your engagement helps us grow and continue bringing you Stoic wisdom tailored to life's challenges. 3. The realization of your value. As the void of your presence becomes an undeniable reality, it ushers in a profound shift. The realization of your true value. In your absence, they start to see you not just as someone who was part of their life, but as someone who enhanced it. The subtle ways you supported them, uplifted them, and added meaning to their daily experiences now come into sharp focus. Think about this. When you were present, they might have seen your actions as routine, even expected. Your care, your listening ear, your encouragement, these were constants, woven seamlessly into their life. But now that those constants are gone, the difference is stark. It's like losing a favorite melody. They might not have consciously noticed its presence, but now that it's gone, the silence is deafening. Why does absence have such a powerful way of illuminating value? As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, it is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. When you step back, it forces them to respond, to reflect on what you meant to them and why they feel your absence so deeply. They realize that your value wasn't just in grand gestures or significant moments, but in the everyday presence that made their life feel fuller and more connected. Consider the small things they now miss. The way you remembered their favorite coffee order, the encouragement you offered when they faced challenges, or the way you simply made them laugh on a tough day. To these moments, though seemingly minor, held immense value. Now in their reflection, they see how much those small acts contributed to their well-being. This realization often comes with an uncomfortable question. Why didn't I see this before? They begin to grapple with their own oversight, wondering how they let such an important presence in their life slip by without proper acknowledgement. It's a humbling moment, one that reminds them of the Stoic principle of appreciating what you have while you have it. But here's the key lesson for both you and them. Value is often revealed in absence, not presence. Your decision to step back wasn't about punishing them or seeking revenge. It was about reclaiming your own power and allowing them the space to understand your worth on their own terms. So I ask you, have you ever had someone realize your value only after you were gone? Or perhaps you've been on the other side, realizing too late the importance of someone in your life. Your insights might offer clarity to someone else navigating a similar journey. As they begin to understand your true value, curiosity about your current life starts to grow. They wonder what you're up to, how you're doing, and whether you're thriving without them. Let's explore this next phase together. 4. The rise of curiosity. As the weight of your absence settles in and your value becomes undeniable, another emotion begins to stir within them: curiosity. This isn't the idle curiosity of wondering what someone had for lunch or how their day went. No, this is a deeper, more pressing need to understand what's happening in your world now that you've stepped back. When you were always present, they knew where you were, what you were doing, and even what you were feeling. That your life was an open book and they could read it whenever they chose. But now the pages have closed and they find themselves on the outside peering in. They start asking questions. What are they doing now? Are they thinking about me? Have they moved on? This unknowing gnaws at them, driving a curiosity that grows with each passing day. Curiosity, as the Stoics understood, can be both a gift and a burden. It is a natural human trait, born from our desire to seek understanding and clarity. But it can also unsettle the mind when left unchecked. For them, this curiosity is like a puzzle they can't solve. Each unanswered question about you leaves them more intrigued, more invested in uncovering the mystery. They might start checking your social media, looking for clues in your posts or photos. Even if you've been silent there too, the absence of updates can speak volumes. Every like, every shared moment with others, every small indication of your thriving life fuels their curiosity further. They wonder, are they happier without me? Have they found new people to share their time with? But here's where the power of Stoicism shines. By stepping back, you've created a space where their thoughts and focus naturally turn toward you, even in your physical absence. They're no longer taking your presence for granted, because now they have to seek out signs of you in the world, and this search reignites their attention in a way your constant availability never could. And what's more, this curiosity often leads to reflection on their part. They might start revisiting old conversations, rereading messages, or recalling shared moments to find answers. In doing so, they unintentionally relive the experiences that built your connection, further solidifying the impact you've had on their life. Have you ever found yourself in this position, wondering about someone who has stepped away? Or perhaps you've noticed someone showing renewed interest in your life after you've taken a step back. Share your experiences below. Your stories add depth to this journey we're exploring together. As their curiosity intensifies, they don't just wonder where you've gone, they begin to see you in a new light, one filled with intrigue and mystery. And this shift leads us to the next stage of their emotional journey. 5. The Intrigue of Mystery. Curiosity naturally evolves into something even more compelling, the intrigue of mystery. As they realize how little they know about your life now, a sense of fascination begins to take hold. You've become an enigma, someone whose story is no longer entirely accessible, and this sense of mystery pulls them in deeper. When you were always available, they likely felt a sense of predictability about you. They knew your routines, your habits, and your patterns of thought. But now in your absence, that predictability is gone. You've stepped back, leaving them to wonder, who are they now? What are they thinking? This transformation makes you appear layered, multifaceted, and above all, intriguing. There's a certain allure in not knowing. As humans, we are drawn to things that challenge our understanding, that invite us to explore further. The ancient Stoics believed that life's mysteries are meant to be embraced rather than feared. In the same way, your new air of mystery compels them to seek answers. They want to rediscover you, to understand the person you're becoming without their influence. Think about it. Mystery has a way of sharpening focus. When something is fully known, it often loses its spark. But when there's uncertainty, when there's depth to uncover, interest naturally grows. They start to see you not just as the person you were, but as someone who is evolving, someone with a life that is vibrant and full, even without their presence. A sense of intrigue can be incredibly powerful. It stirs within them a desire to reconnect, but not in the same way as before. Now they want to know the new you, the person who has grown in their absence, who has cultivated self-sufficiency and inner strength. They find themselves drawn to the idea that you've become someone even more dynamic and compelling, someone who exists beyond the role you once played in their life. At this stage, they may start reaching out subtly, trying to bridge the gap without fully revealing their curiosity. A casual text, a comment on a post, or even a direct question, each is an attempt to pierce through the mystery surrounding you. But these gestures are often tentative, as they navigate their own uncertainty about where they stand with you now. Let me ask you, have you ever felt this shift in a relationship? Perhaps someone who once seemed transparent to you suddenly became more mysterious and intriguing. How did that change your perception of them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences could spark new reflections for others walking this same path. As they grapple with this newfound intrigue, another emotion quietly begins to take root, one that is even more profound: longing. Let's delve into this next stage and uncover how the heart yearns for what it once had. 6. The growth of longing. As curiosity and mystery deepen, they give way to an even more powerful emotion: longing. This isn't the fleeting kind of longing that comes and goes. It's a profound, persistent ache that grows in the spaces where connection used to be. They don't just miss the idea of you, they miss you in all the small and specific ways that made your presence unique. Everyday moments now feel incomplete. A song comes on the radio, and they're transported back to a time you both shared. They visit a place you once frequented together, and the memories flood in, unbidden and bittersweet. Even the most mundane phrases or jokes trigger thoughts of you, sparking a yearning they can't easily shake. Why does this longing grow so intensely in your absence? It's because in losing the tangible connection, they've gained a new appreciation for the emotional depth you provided. Your laughter, your insights, the way you made them feel seen and understood, all these things have left an indelible mark. They begin to realize that what they shared with you wasn't just a relationship of convenience, it was something deeply enriching. This kind of longing isn't about filling a void with just anyone. It's about recognizing that what they miss is irreplaceable. The French writer Marcel Proust once said, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." In your absence, they now see the relationship with new eyes, appreciating its subtleties and strengths in ways they never did before. Longing can also be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it compels them to cherish the past. On the other, it highlights the painful reality of the present, the absence of the connection they once took for granted. This emotional conflict can be overwhelming. They may find themselves replaying conversations, revisiting old messages, or even dreaming of the moments they wish they could relive. But here's where longing becomes transformative. It pushes them to confront their own feelings and priorities. They start to ask deeper questions. Why did I take them for granted? Why didn't I express how much they meant to me? This self-examination is a critical step, one that aligns with Stoic philosophy's emphasis on introspection and personal growth. Through this process, they begin to understand not only what they've lost, but also how they might grow from the experience. Let me turn this to you now. Have you ever felt a deep longing for someone who once played a significant role in your life? How did that longing shape your perspective on the relationship? Share your reflections in the comments below. You might find that others have walked a similar path, and your insights could provide comfort or clarity. If this discussion on longing resonates with you, take a moment to like this video and let us know. Your engagement helps build a community where we can explore these emotions together, guided by the timeless principles of Stoicism. As they sit with this growing sense of longing, another powerful emotion begins to surface: the sting of regret. Let's explore how this next stage shapes their understanding of the past and their hopes for the future. 7. The sting of regret. As longing deepens, it often brings a companion: regret. This is not a mild or passing regret, but a sharp, persistent sting that cuts through their reflections. It's the realization that they may have squandered something precious. The missed opportunities, the words left unsaid, the moments taken for granted, they all come rushing back with an intensity that can't be ignored. Regret is a teacher, albeit a harsh one. In your absence, they begin to replay the moments they shared with you, but now with a different lens. They think about the times when you showed up for them, offering support or understanding, and how they might have brushed it aside. They recall the times you reached out first, making the effort to keep the connection alive, while they didn't reciprocate with the same energy. And now they're left wondering, why didn't I appreciate them when I had the chance? This realization can be overwhelming. It's one thing to miss someone, it's another to recognize that your own actions or inactions played a part in their departure. Regret forces them to confront these uncomfortable truths. They start to see how their behavior might have contributed to the current distance, and this can lead to a profound sense of loss, not just for you, but for the version of themselves that let you slip away. But regret, when approached through the lens of Stoicism, can also be a powerful catalyst for change. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot alter the past, we can learn from it. Regret invites self-examination, prompting them to ask, what could I have done differently? How can I grow from this experience? These questions are not meant to dwell on what's lost, but to guide future actions and foster personal growth. Interestingly, regret doesn't just make them reflect on what they did wrong, it also highlights what they did right. They remember the good moments, the laughter, the shared experiences, and the genuine connection you once had. This dual reflection, the pain of missed opportunities and the joy of cherished memories, creates a complex emotional landscape. It's a mixture of sorrow and gratitude, of loss and hope. As they sit with their regret, they begin to see a path forward. They may not be able to change the past, but they can take steps to reconcile with it. This brings us to the next stage of their journey, the power of reflection, where deeper truths begin to emerge. Stay with me as we explore how introspection shapes their understanding of both the past and the future. 8. The power of reflection. As the sting of regret lingers, it naturally leads them into a phase of deep reflection. This is not a superficial glance at what went wrong. It's a thorough and often uncomfortable examination of their actions, thoughts, and feelings. Your absence has created a quiet space, an empty canvas on which they begin to paint a clearer picture of the relationship, their role in it, and what it truly meant. Reflection, as the Stoics often emphasized, is one of the most valuable tools for growth. Marcus Aurelius himself frequently wrote about the importance of examining one's life and actions, understanding that true wisdom comes from looking inward. In your absence, they are left alone with their thoughts, and this solitude becomes fertile ground for insight. They begin to piece together the moments that defined your relationship, the times you offered support without expecting anything in return, the way you celebrated their successes and stood by them during their struggles. These reflections bring clarity to just how much you contributed, not only in tangible ways but in emotional and spiritual ones as well. But reflection is not just about looking back, it's also about understanding oneself in the present. They start to ask difficult questions. Why did I behave the way I did? What fears or insecurities drove my actions or my lack of action? In examining these patterns, they might uncover deeper truths about themselves, truths they may have been avoiding. Perhaps they'll realize that their reluctance to fully invest in the relationship stemmed from a fear of vulnerability, or that they were too absorbed in their own world to appreciate yours. Have you ever gone through a similar process of reflection? When you've lost something or someone important, did it prompt you to share your experiences in the comments? Reflection is a universal part of the human experience, and your story might resonate with others who are in the midst of their own journey. What's fascinating about reflection is how it shifts their perspective. As they sit with these thoughts, they start to see the bigger picture. They recognize that while the past cannot be changed, it can be a powerful guide for the future. They understand that the lessons learned from your absence are invaluable, and they begin to appreciate the opportunity for growth that this reflection offers. This phase is transformative. It doesn't erase the pain of regret or the longing they feel, but it helps them find meaning in those emotions. Through reflection, they begin to understand that your presence in their life was not just about companionship, but about growth, learning, and connection. They start to see you not just as someone they miss, but as someone who profoundly impacted their personal journey. Reflection leads them to a place of clarity, where they can start making sense of the emotions they've been grappling with. And as they process these insights, something even more compelling starts to emerge: the realization of your independence and self-sufficiency. Let's move forward and explore how this next phase shifts their perception of you in powerful and unexpected ways. 9. The magnetism of self-sufficiency. As their reflection deepens, they begin to notice something remarkable. You're not just absent, you're thriving. In the silence, they come to realize that you haven't been waiting for them to notice you. Instead, you've been moving forward, focusing on your own growth and embracing your independence. This newfound self-sufficiency doesn't just catch their attention, it draws them in like a magnet. There's an undeniable appeal in someone who is self-reliant. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in our ability to find peace and purpose within ourselves without relying on external validation. When you step back and focus on your own journey, you embody this principle. Your life doesn't revolve around them, and that realization can be both humbling and captivating for them to witness. Imagine how this shift in dynamic affects their perception of you. In the past, they might have seen you as someone who was always available, always willing to put their needs first. But now they see a different version of you, one that is resilient, independent, and fully in control of your own happiness. This transformation isn't just inspiring, it's magnetic. Think about it. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate confidence and self-assurance. When they see you pursuing your passions, setting boundaries, and finding joy in your own company, it challenges their previous assumptions about you. They start to see you not as someone who needs them, but as someone who chooses their own path. This choice, this autonomy, elevates your presence in their mind. Your self-sufficiency also forces them to confront their own dependency. They might begin to question whether they've been too reliant on your presence for their sense of stability. So introspection can be unsettling but necessary. It pushes them to consider how they can cultivate their own inner strength, inspired by your example. Let me ask you, have you ever been drawn to someone because of their independence? How did their self-sufficiency change the way you saw them? Or perhaps you've experienced this shift in reverse, realizing your own strength after stepping back from someone else. Share your thoughts in the comments. These stories of growth and resilience can inspire others on similar journeys. As they observe your transformation, they're not just impressed, they're compelled. Your self-sufficiency becomes a silent testament to your growth, reminding them that you're not waiting for anyone's validation. And this, more than anything, might be what they find most irresistible. But this growing admiration for your independence isn't the end of their emotional journey. In fact, it's the gateway to the final and most powerful stage, the desire for reconnection. Let's explore how all the emotions they've experienced so far build to this critical turning point. 10. The desire for reconnection. All the emotions they've been navigating, shock, regret, longing, curiosity, and admiration, culminate in one undeniable truth. They want you back. But this desire for reconnection is different now. It's not born out of habit or loneliness. It's rooted in a deep understanding of your value, a recognition of their own shortcomings, and an admiration for the person you've become in their absence. They begin to feel an overwhelming need to bridge the gap that your absence has created. This isn't just about rekindling a relationship, it's about rebuilding it on new, stronger foundations. They're no longer drawn to the relationship out of convenience. Instead, they're driven by a newfound respect and a genuine desire to reconnect with the person who has shown such growth and resilience. But here's where things get interesting. Their desire to reconnect is often accompanied by uncertainty. How do I approach them? Will they even want to hear from me? Have I lost my chance? These questions swirl in their mind, creating a mix of hope and fear. They know they must tread carefully because they're not just seeking to return to the way things were. They want something better, something more meaningful. At this point, they might start taking small steps toward reconnection. A carefully worded message, a thoughtful gesture, or an attempt to share something that reminded them of you. Each move is laden with vulnerability, a quiet acknowledgement of the journey they've been on since you stepped back. And yet, Stoicism reminds us that their journey of longing and reflection is not yours to control. Your focus has been on your growth, your peace, and your purpose. Whether or not you choose to respond is a reflection of your own path, your own values. The power dynamic has shifted. They now seek what you already possess: clarity, confidence, and a sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on external validation. Have you ever experienced someone trying to reconnect after realizing your worth? How did you approach that moment? Or perhaps you've been the one seeking reconnection, hoping to mend and strengthen a bond that was once neglected. Share your insights in the comments. Your story could offer guidance or encouragement to someone standing at a similar crossroads. As they grapple with this desire for reconnection, they're reminded of a truth once articulated by F. Scott Fitzgerald. There are all kinds of love in this world, but never the same love twice. They realize that the relationship they seek to rebuild will be different, shaped by the growth and lessons both of you have experienced. And perhaps it will be stronger because of it. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of human connection, absence, and self-worth through the lens of Stoicism. If this journey resonated with you, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might find these insights valuable. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Your thoughts and experiences enrich this community. Remember, every relationship is a reflection of growth, and every absence holds the potential for transformation. Until next time, take care of yourself, embrace your journey, and trust in the power of your own presence.